I just texted him even do it.
Honestly, this is actually really good. I asked for medium rare. Let's see what we got.
24-hour restaurants are starting to become a distant memory, but I have found a place. The last Twilight Guardian, if you will. In that place,
Denny's. Okay, I get it. A lot of you have already been to Denny's, but I haven't, okay? Or at least if I did, it was probably just a 3 a.m. blip in my 20s. We actually don't have that many Denny's here where I live in this part of Canada. But in this video, I'm gonna be ordering the cheapest and the most expensive menu item at Denny's to try and figure out once and for all, is Denny's a grand slam, or am I gonna be grand slamming my butt on the toilet tonight? Let's go.
since it was still an ungodly hour, I didn't know what crowd to expect. Overnight hooligans, early bird CEOs, or maybe an elderly meetup. I don't know, but I was definitely not expecting this when I walked into the Denny's. So as I sat down to take a look at the menu, I was definitely caught off guard at how massive the menu was. I don't know if this is a culinary red flag or they have Gordon Ramsay in the kitchen back there, but I just felt bad for the cook who had to remember 4,000 menu options. I can't even count that high. Since my brain was currently working like the school jock on a class project, I knew I needed to have some coffee in my veins. And what better way to do it than with their bottomless cup of joe? My first sip of brain juice came with an unexpected surprise. It was kinda lukewarm. Unfortunately, I'm conflict avoidant, so I didn't mention anything.
It's acceptable. It's coffee.
Now that I had my cup of bean water, it was time to make my order. And since we were the only people in the whole restaurant, I expected this to be a quick turnaround time. And spoiler alert, it definitely took longer than I expected. I actually got a second cup of coffee and she said the last one wasn't hot enough, so she made sure that my throat would be in danger this time around, just the way I like it.
Oh, that's definitely steaming hot. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's hot. Cheers. Still hot.
You know when you're so hungry and impatient that you start to get delirious and think about things you've never thought of once in your life? Yeah, that started to happen while I was waiting for my food.
I wonder if the first owner of Denny's was named Denny.
Here's a fun fact. I found out that it used to be called Danny's Donuts. Finally, after about 20 minutes, my meals arrived. And you know we had to start off with their cheapest option.
Okay, right here we have the breakfast poutine with hollandaise sauce just drizzled on top of it. Let's see if we can get a nice little cheese pull. Oh yeah, that is looking really good. Red potatoes.
The potatoes tasted lightly seasoned and were cooked to a soft, pillowy texture, although I did wish that there was a little bit of crispiness on the outside.
I did wish there was a little bit more crisp to this. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get a hollandaise sauce by itself. I think it's mixed with the cheese curds, but let's try it. Pretty good flavor. Usually hollandaise sauce is pretty light. This isn't that light, very creamy and rich. Let's try it all together.
The breakfast poutine came in at $7.99, making it Denny's cheapest breakfast menu option.
There's a really good balance of flavor, but it's so rich. I like it, but I don't know if you're supposed to be having this for breakfast. Honestly, this is actually really good. Very cheesy. You wanna try a bite of this?
That's actually really good.
It doesn't taste bad, right? Personally, I wish the potatoes were a little bit crispier. One more bite.
Overall, the dish almost tasted like dipping fried potatoes in a hollandaise melted cheese curd fondue. Yeah, it sounds terrifying, and yeah, it sounds delicious. I give it a 7.5 out of 10.
This was the cheapest menu option they have. Let's see what the most expensive one looks like.
Denny's most expensive meal comes in at an eye-bean watering $24.99, the T-bone steak and eggs. A 13-ounce seasoned T-bone steak served with 2 fresh eggs, crispy hash browns, and your choice of toast.
All right, let's get this big T-bone steak.
You bet the first thing I did was examine this steak because I've never had a T-bone before, and this seemed like a great place to set a standard on what a great steak should taste like.
I asked for medium rare. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, the steak was definitely a little chewier than I expected, but at least I got a good jaw workout with my meal.
I could play baseball with this steak.
After rehydrating my mouth with some coffee, it was time to try the rest of the components of this dish.
Nice glistening buttery side of bread. Pretty decent toast on the other side. Not bad. Crispy hash brown. Oh, it's very, very crispy. Shredded potatoes. This actually is the way that I like it too. It's not too oily either. Is this blasphemous? I'm just eating this with my hands? Maybe.
Those hash browns definitely caught me off guard with how crispy and not oily they were. They were actually pretty good.
Let's test out their sunny side up. Do we approve?
All in all, everything except the steak was actually pretty solid. The eggs were cooked as I asked, the hash browns were crispy and delicious, and the toast was toasted. I'd have to give this an 8 out of 10 for the components, but with the T-bone steak, it goes down a little bit to a 1 out of 10.
Are there supposed to be two sides to a T-bone steak? Because this side feels like leather, and this side feels like dog toy. I feel like as long as you know what you want to get, you can get something really good here. What if I dip it in the sauce? Can I get another coffee, please? This poutine is really good, by the way.
It's actually surprisingly
The
good.
breakfast poutine, delicious.
I think that's the only thing we
Don't worry, I won't tell. All in all, I spent $3.75 for their bottomless coffee, $7.99 for the breakfast poutine, and $24.99 for their T-bone steak and eggs. My total for this meal came out to $36.77, and I also think that I hit a PR for jaw clenches.
One more bite. Wow, that's dry. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good day. So was Denny's a grand slam? Well, after that breakfast poutine with hollandaise sauce just smothered all over it, it's gotta be at least a first base. And just like shaving a balloon, make sure you guys come to Denny's with a task at hand, with a mission and a focus to get the delicious dishes, and don't be distracted by the T-bone steak. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.